Hello, world. Welcome to episode 87 of the Jimmy Canz Show. Prediction time. It is, as William Regal would say, Whoa Games. How you doing, Rod?
All right, how y'all doing today?
I'm hanging in. So it's War Games, 5 matches, it's NXT. It's this Sunday here in Orlando at the Performance Center. Let's get into it.
It's one of the bigger
shows
they've had. Just shows they've had since the switch.
Yep. So first match we'll talk about is the Women's War Games match. Team Toxic, Team Gonzalez, Team Toxic, NXT Women Champ Mandy Rose, NXT Women Tag Champs Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, and Dakota Kai against Team Gonzalez, Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, Cora Jade, and Kay Lee Ray. I'll kick this one off. I am going to go with Team Gonzalez. And this one, I think they're going to play into some things with Kaylee Ray in this. I think she'll come out of this really looking strong and set her up for a feud with Mandy, as I think Raquel's probably looking at a call up here pretty soon. That's just my 2 cents on it. Which way you going, Rod?
I want to go with Team Toxic.
Team Toxic, huh?
And I'm heavily influenced by the what I want to say is the theme that you use for the heaven. Toxic. It looks toxic. The background art.
Gotcha.
It looks toxic, so. I'm standing in the theme here.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we will discuss the Cruiserweight Championship match. Cruiserweight weight limit has been waived as Joe Gacy challenges the Messiah of the Backbreaker, Roderick Strong. Representing Diamond Mine, we'll have Malcolm Bivens out there. I'm sure Joe Gacy will have Holland in his corner as well. There might be the rest of the Diamond Mine out there. But this is an interesting one with a 240 some odd pound Joe Gacy challenging for the Cruiserweight title here. Which way are you going on this one, Rod?
As you already know, is consistent is Roderick Strong.
Roddy Strong, Messiah. I like Roddy. I think he's getting a little bit of a bum rap here with this title because I'm going to go with Joe Gacy in this one. My gut just tells me what they're doing with his character and the shift in NXT right now to the younger, less known stars and everything. I see more story arc possibilities with Gacy with the title, and then finding some kind of fresh new baby face to eventually chase him. Just where my head is on this one.
He definitely has that Kevin Owens feel to him.
Yeah. So next up, the NXT Tag Team Championship matchup. Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly taking on champs Imperium, Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel. I'm feeling the 2.0 still.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly. From everything I'm hearing, Vince is super high on Von Wagner, and I think this is a good way to help strap that rocket to him, get some gold on him, but also hide his inexperience. You put him in a tag team with a veteran like O'Reilly, it can help him, help him along and help elevate him up. Like I said, and it gives him that credibility because it puts some gold on him.
Yeah. I have been hearing that Von is a very, very highly thought of backstage.
Yep.
So
which way you going?
I'm stuck in my old ways.
So you're saying Imperium?
Oh, this is what I'm seeing Imperium, I think. I'm still riding the train.
Yeah. Exactly. There's nothing against Imperium. or whatever. I just think that the shift in direction for the whole brand.
It makes sense. It makes sense. I just got a feeling that they may try to keep, they may try to keep some credibility, or not do a wholesale change. So
right,
they may mix in some of those staple wins too somewhere.
Yep. Next up, a hair versus hair matchup as Cameron Grimes takes on Duke Hudson. Which way you going, Rod?
Going with Grimy.
You're going to the moon?
To the moon.
To the moon, huh? I like Cameron Grimes. I like him a lot. I think he's a great character. From everything I am hearing, though, Vince likes him, but wants to change his look. So with that being said, I'm going with Duke Hudson. Because it gives the built-in excuse as to why they're changing up his look. So that's where my head is on it. It's just kind of what I've heard through the ether in terms of the direction that Vince wants to go with Grimes. So I'm saying Duke Hudson.
The old dirt sheets.
Yeah, the old dirt sheets. It says Vince wants to change his look. So this is a great built-in way to do it, and kind of also explains why they started down this path to begin with.
Absolutely.
And then last but not least, it is Team Old School or Team Black and Gold against Team New School or Team 2.0 as Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, and LA Knight take on Ron Breakker, Carmelo Hayes, Tony D'Angelo, and Grayson Waller in War Games.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm still in that mindset of the shift in direction and everything with the brand. I'm going New School on this one, and I think it's going to be a showcase performance for, as Johnny called him last night, the big bad booty nephew.
Oh, bro. So here's where I really agree with you and pick up on the really pushing the 2.0. I'm going with the New School as well. I'm high on Braun Breaker. I feel like that kid could be, if done properly, I feel like he could be the next Brock Lesnar, or not the next Brock Lesnar, but something of that
ilk.
Yes, something of that. Something of that ilk or that impact is what I'm thinking.
I mean, like I said, I think it's going to be a real showcase for him. I can see. Looking at Team Old School, the only one on there that's really, Dunn's kind of a tweener, but the one that's not a pure babyface or a tweener is LA Knight. This is not a case of babyface versus heels. This really is kind of New School, Old School type thing, whereas they're trying to paint the New School people more as heels in this, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I think Knight is probably the one that submits in this one.
Got you.
You want to protect Ciampa. He's your champion. Yep. Mm-hmm. Johnny's contract's coming up. You don't want to, do too much there to deter him from potentially re-signing. And then, Dunn just re-signed. So the only one there that kind of, and I'll be honest with you, I think LA Knight's great. He's great on the mic and, great personality, decent ring work and stuff like that. But, he's not a Vince guy. He's not a WWE made guy. I could see him being kind of considered expendable in Vince's eyes in a lot of different ways. If he gets disenfranchised or, and doesn't renew, or, maybe even gets let go at some point in time, with all the mass releases that have been going on and everything. I don't see him having a long, memorable run in the company. I don't know why. Like I said, I think he's good. I just don't see it working out.
Well, so how many of these of the old school dudes do you feel like might be moving on to the main roster anytime? I would say within the next half a year.
It's tough to say. You know, Ciampa and Gargano a long time ago said they didn't want to go to them. They really didn't want to go to the main roster. They wanted to stay in NXT, but that was when NXT was different.
Yeah,
and it was kind of considered. It was like almost, you know, like a super indie, because they could still kind of do some of that indie style, high work rate stuff. But now it's kind of shifting, obviously, to be more along the lines of, you know, a true, you know, developmental to the main roster. So it's more of the main roster type of stories and everything a little less focused on the ring stuff or whatever. So I don't know. You know, I think Dunn might work better on the main roster and everything, but it's a tough one. It's a tough one right now, given the shift and everything.
And do you want to go to the main roster? But they release the people on the main roster and NXT. So
I mean, it doesn't matter where you are right now in that company in terms of whether or not you're safe or not. I mean, look at the people that have been released. I mean, Braun Strowman, you know, Bray Wyatt, you know, they just call up all of Hit Row and then turn around and release him about a month later. I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense on what's going on. You know, I think that, you know, the rumblings and the rumors and the handwritings all on the wall, I think is very, very true, very, very evident. I think that they are gearing up to sell. Who ends up being the entity that purchases it and what happens after the purchase is anybody's guess.
Tony Khan.
I don't think it'll be Tony Khan.
He's gonna come in and pull a reverse Vince.
A reverse Vince. No, but here's the difference. Here's the difference is, you know, what happened there is, you know, Vince swooped in and got his competition pennies on the dollar because they were, you know, this is a highly profitable company right now. You know what I mean? So you're not going to get it for pennies on the dollar. They're, you know, they got record profits and stuff like that. It's not going to be an inexpensive purchase.
Gotcha.
So it's not quite an apples to apples thing. I mean, looking at it, you know, I think, you know, your two main possibilities, if they do end up, you know, selling, which all indications look like they are going to, it's probably NBC Universal, you know, because they've already kind of got that affiliation with Peacock, and the majority of their programming is on their networks. I mean, the only show that's not on an NBC-owned network is SmackDown on Fox. So everything else, you know, USA is owned by NBC. Obviously, you know, Peacock's owned by NBC. So, you know, I think that they're probably the front runner. And then if it's not them, the only other one that I could see having deep enough pockets, it's whether or not there's a desire for it, though, would probably be Disney.
So if looking at all the variables, NBC is the most likely front runner with all things considered that we know of as of right now.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, those are the two that I can see, you know, out in front. I mean, the only other, you know, wild card, and I don't see it happening because they already kind of went down that route once, and they've already got, you know, wrestling content on networks and stuff, you know, like, you know, the Warner situation, Time Warner group and everything, they ended up, you know, being owners of WCW because of acquisitions and stuff like that, and then didn't want wrestling and, you know, helped put an end to WCW. But, you know, now wrestling's back on their programming with AEW, but they don't own AEW. I think they don't have a problem airing wrestling. I think they, you know, they wanted to distance themselves from it, but then they realized that there's an audience there, and that now they've kind of re-embraced it in terms of there, but I don't think they want to own it.
Yeah, gotcha.
So
it's looking like NBC would be the front runner right now.
I agree. Yeah, I think NBC is the
Like-
front runner. I think the other possibility would be Disney. But we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, what the price tag is going to be is also going to be an interesting thing, because like I said, they're showing record profits. They're a highly profitable company right now, so this won't be a very cheap acquisition. And whoever does this, I think, needs to make sure that they keep a wrestling mind on kind of running that, whatever, that division of their new company. I think, your biggest mistake is going to be purchasing it and getting rid of the wrestling minds and then just trying to run it like a regular business, because wrestling is not a regular business.
I'm thinking, and me and Rod talk about this a lot, and I just try to, so if you look at the eras of wrestling, right?
Yep.
You look at the golden era.
Yep.
Then you had, and which was like arguably one of the peaks, if not the peak of wrestling. It's like that and the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at the eras of wrestling. You have the golden era, then you have the new generation.
Yep, you had the Hogan, the golden era, the Hogan era, whatever you want to call it. Then you had the new generation. Then you had the Monday Night War / Attitude Era. Then you went to Ruthless Aggression, then the PG.
So what happens is, I was looking at it. We looked at it on the chart. So you had the golden era, which is arguably the most popular era of wrestling ever. Then you had the new generation, which was a step down, but was still a strong era of wrestling. So then you had the mountaintop, another peak, which was the Monday Night Wars and the Attitude Era.
Yep.
Then you had the Ruthless Aggression era, which was a step down, but was still respectable. Ruthless Aggression era was good. It was very, very good era. But what happened is we haven't peaked again. Like, it's been steadily since the Attitude Era, even though the Ruthless Aggression era wasn't terrible. It was that valley that you had, just like the new generation era. You see what I'm saying? It was solid, but it was a step down because the era.
When they went to the PG era, and I understand why they went to the PG era. All right, it was a twofold thing. It was, they became a publicly traded company tail end of the Attitude Era, and then they went into the Ruthless Aggression era, and I think they were starting to hear some squawking, through a lot of that Ruthless Aggression in terms of shareholders, and you know what I mean, because they're now they're not a mom and pop, they're not a family-owned business anymore, they're a publicly traded company. So that was, part of it, why they shifted to the PG. And then the second thing was, they realized we need to infuse our fan base with younger fans again. And as long as we keep staying edgy and everything like that, we're not going to pull in more older fans at this point in time. I think it was like we've plateaued on that age group. We need to generate younger fans so that we have fans in future generations and stuff like that. So that was part of the rationale too.
The miscalculation was, right? So if you think about the golden era, right? The golden era was a PG era. It was super PG. But the world, the society at large was PG.
Yep.
Right? When they tried to re-up this time and go after a younger audience, the world was far less PG.
Yeah.
And they approached it with the same plan of attack.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or the same, just looking at it through the same lens as when they tried to refurb it or replenish their resources of young viewers before. But so then they got, if you think about it, if you remember, then they got caught in this thing. Actually, I think this might have been before the PG era, the reality era. Remember that?
Yeah.
So they're kind of caught in this nebulous of trying to be everything to everybody, which is reaching out to what they thought was a younger audience, the reality era. But I think between you and I, it's difficult nowadays.
It is. You've got a lot of different options, out there. All competing for the same set of eyes. And I'm not just talking, AEW or Impact or other wrestling promotions. I'm talking everything in general. You got,
the entire industry. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just talking the entire entertainment industry. There's just so many options out there. All your different streaming services, UFC,
The Zone, ESPN. So I don't even watch. To your point, I don't even watch entire movies. I rarely watch entire movies now. I watch movies recaps. So in the time that it takes me to watch one movie, I can watch like 10. I can recap like 10 movies.
Yeah. So anyway, those are our War Games predictions. Come back and see us in a couple of weeks. That time of year again, pretty soon. We'll be coming at you with our 2021-2022 bowl season prediction special. A couple of weeks, we're going to find out who's in. All the bowl games will be announced. We'll go through them, making our picks. Should be a fun time of year. Always is.
Yes. We look forward to that. Spending some more time with y'all right before we go on the big break for the year.
Yep. And then also we'll have one more probably coming at you at the very tail end of the month, as for the first time we're going to be getting WWE Day 1 on New Year's Day. So we'll have to get that one in the can when it gets all sorted out here later this month. They started the ball rolling on that one. So
yes,
the only one announced so far is the triple threat for the WWE title. Big E defends against both Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. So see what else gets added to that card, and we'll get our predictions out to you guys on that one as well. So as always, wherever you are, we hope you're doing well. Give the channel a like, a share, a subscribe. Take care of one another, and we will see you when we see you.
See you.